What is going on, guys? Monty Webby here, back again on Tuesday. The 4-game slate last night. Another one that just doesn't go our way. Kind of goes unlucky with the Spurs is getting absolutely destroyed. Pop pulled the starters out of the game in the first 4 minutes, and we had Paul Gasol and Dejounte Murray in that game. Figured they would kind of pick up the slack for Marcus Aldridge in that game, but the Spurs offense was pretty bad. Their defense was atrocious, surprisingly enough. Thought the defense would be able to do enough to keep the game close, but they couldn't do that. So it was disappointing there. We got like less than 20 minutes out of Paul Gasol and Dejounte Murray. Russell Westbrook also, again, shot very poorly against the Kings somehow. I'm not sure why he can't really score that well against that team. He got a triple-double, but it should have been a bigger night of him. And also CJ McCollum came out in the first half on fire, 15 points from the field. Then the second half, he only drops 2 points. So it could have been a much bigger night. Not sure what he was doing in the second half. I know that Damian Lillard had a huge second half, and Nurkic had a big game out of nowhere. He hasn't really been doing anything recently. So CJ McCollum, a little bit unlucky there. But those 4-game slates are a thing of the past. We got an 11-game slate here tonight. A lot less volatility and randomness on these 11-game slates. You kind of can predict more and go with matchups that you know should stay close. You don't have to deal with the Spurs is getting absolutely destroyed by the Rockets. So it should be a good night here. I got my money 6, and also I think I'm going to fill it out for a full lineup tonight because there's so many guys that I love on this slate that I want to mention more than just the 6 guys. So it should be a good one. Drop a like on the video if you're ready to go. Thank you so much for all the support. In yesterday's video, we almost hit 200 likes, so we'll try to keep it going here. Let's see if we can get the 200, honestly. Know you guys have it in you in the Money Mob, so thank you, and subscribe if you haven't. Almost 100 away from the giveaway where I'm hosting the GPP tournament. You can win some money there, showing off your talent on DraftKings. So let's get into it. I'm going to go with Anthony Davis to start it off at 11,200. A little bit underpriced in this matchup. He came back off that injury against Utah and had an absolutely huge game. 10 blocks in that game. Insane. Got the triple-double with that. It was the first one of his career, I guess. 73 drafting points. So I think he'll probably score a little bit more in this game, more than 25 points. And if he can get 10 blocks again, I'll take it. But I'm not sure he's going to get that. But against Charlotte, they have been struggling against power forwards this year. Anthony Davis in this first rotation will come out as the starting power forward with the Emeka Okafor there. So I think he can take advantage of that with Marvin Williams on him there. Have some nice scoring opportunities and get some solid rebounds and still be very active on the defensive end. So I think he should be able to do enough. As long as he doesn't get hurt again in this game, he should be able to return value. This game is projected for 230 points. In New Orleans, Anthony Davis has been very good at home this year compared to on the road, so I think we'll have a big game here. Lock him in there. For my second guy, we're going to go with Lonzo Ball here. Coming off a disaster of a game, but I think he'll bounce back nicely against Denver here. Another up-tempo, high-scoring affair, and they have been struggling this year against point guards, and Alonzo Ball definitely has their number, 43 drafting points per game, and we're not talking a small sample size, 3 games, a pretty solid sample size, with a great game against them the other night, 45 drafting points. He was flirting with a triple-double in that game. So like I said, against the Cavs last game, really struggled. But George Hill is a solid defender, so might have struggled there with that. But I think he'll bounce back nicely against Jamal Murray at home. So 7,500, not a bad price tag considering the upside he has shown this year when he can just get all those stats, the rebounds, assists, and be able to score a little bit better in this game against Denver. So lock him in there. For my third guy, we're going to stick with point guard here. Kyle Lowry at 7,600 going against Brooklyn. A very solid matchup. And the thing with Toronto, I mentioned this a lot with Kyle Lowry, on the road, they don't really have that same blow-up potential. And Brooklyn has been playing very well recently. Now they're back at full strength. So we can see with the numbers, Lowry is getting some more minutes on the road here. So that's great for his DraftKings upside and opportunity. And the DraftKings points have followed suit. Almost 5 more DraftKings points per game on the road. And like I said, it's a good matchup against Brooklyn. They should be able to score at will against the point. The point guard is one of the best spots to attack this Brooklyn team with the center position as well. So at 48 drafting points per game in 2 games against them, he's done very well. And he's been shooting pretty well from the field. A couple of these last few games, he got 46 drafting points against Houston, 56 against Detroit, 36 against New York, and that was a blowout as well. So he's been pretty damn consistent. I think he can approach 40-plus drafting points again in this game, with it being able to stay a little bit closer. Like I said, Brooklyn playing very well recently, back at full strength, so lock him in there. And for my fourth guy, Tyler Dorsey at 4,100. It was just announced yesterday. Bazemore done for the year. So Dorsey should move himself into that starting lineup against OKC. One of the best spots you can attack them is at that shooting guard position. And they're in the back-to-back. He'll be going against Corey Brewer, who is an older kind of guy, so maybe he's a little bit tired in this game. And Dorsey can do some things. Offensively, he does shoot the three ball a lot. OKC has been struggling to cover the three ball, especially from the shooting guard position. 36% from three. We saw Bogdanovic against the Thunder last night have a big game, hit a lot of threes in that game. He plays that shooting guard, small forward type role. So Tyler Dorsey, 4,100. A nice value here with Bazemore out. Lock him into your lineups. And for my fifth guy, Emmanuel Mudiay at 5,000 here, going against Dallas. A great matchup against Dennis Smith Jr. I mentioned this a lot recently. He's not a good defender. And Mudiay, some solid production in the last two games, 28 DraftKings points in both of those games. And those were some tough matchups against Toronto and Milwaukee. They cover the point guard very well. So against this Dallas team, I think he should be able to be safe around 25 DraftKings points plus. Again, he can fill it up in multiple categories: rebounds, assists, points, you name it. He can do it. And the thing with the Knicks here to definitely monitor, we mentioned this a little bit in like a minute or so, but I might as well mention now. Enes Kanter and Lance Thomas did miss last game. So the Knicks, if I was the Knicks, I would just hold them out. Because they are tanking, you want to get these younger guys some more opportunity, like Luke Cornet, however you say his name. So I think they should hold him out, but they did practice on Monday, so definitely monitor that situation. They're tipping off at 7:30, so we should get word before. But Mudiay will probably be a little bit more aggressive offensively if Enes Kanter is out and Lance Thomas in that game. And you can find Luke Cornet. He's a three-point shooter. You can get some assists off that. But Emmanuel Mudiay, great matchup. Lock him in there. But Kyle O'Quinn and Luke Cornet, it will be great values if Lance Thomas and Enes Kanter are both out. So I figured I would mention that. But we're going to fill out the rest of this lineup here. We got 3 spots remaining here. I'm going to go with TJ Warren, though, at the small forward position. Actually, I want to move Anthony Davis to center to make this work out and put TJ Warren. I believe I want him at power forward here. So we're going to put him there. Good spot against Cleveland. He's coming off the injury, but I think he'll be fine. He participated in practice yesterday, and they're saying he's probable, so he should be good to go. And against this Cleveland team, I went with Julius Randle the other night against the Cavs. He went absolutely insane. And TJ Warren is a similar type of player as Julius Randle, one of those post-up types, just kind of drive to the hoop and hit those mid-range shots. In Cleveland, they've been really struggling kind of covering those type of players. Like we saw with Julius Randle and the other guys that can kind of get to the hoop with ease, because they have no really rim protector with Larry Nance down low. He's undersized, so TJ Warren can definitely do some work in that capacity. And I think he should be safe for 30-plus drafting points on an up-scoring or an up-tempo, high-scoring game here. In a very, very good matchup. And he's been playing a ton of minutes before he got hurt. 42 minutes per game almost for a little while. So crazy minutes there. So TJ Warren, great spot. Lock him into your lineups. And for the second last 2 guys, Denzel Valentine is one guy that was kind of interesting here to fill out the lineup at 4,700. He's starting to get back more into the rotation, and the fantasy points have followed suit. Against the Clippers, they have been struggling a lot against small forwards, and that's what Denzel Valentine is. So a good spot for him, and he's been filling it up in multiple categories as well. So I think he can get it done in this spot. Lock him in there. And for my last guy for the lineup, Kyle Korver, with all the injuries that the Cavs have, Rodney Hood, C.D. Osman. Korver seems like he's starting to step up his game, getting some more solid minutes, really spreading the court out for the Cavs here. 20-plus minutes the last, 4 games? Yeah, and the fantasy points have come with it. Over 23 out of the last 4 games. And against Phoenix, we know it's very easy to score against them. They struggle a lot against threes. 36% against threes, allowing a ton of points. So Kyle Korver can hit a few threes in this matchup and have a solid game at 3,600. Doesn't need to do much there, so lock him in. That is the full lineup. You got Alonzo Ball, Tyler Dorsey, Denzel Valentine, TJ Warren, Anthony Davis, Kyle Lowry, Kyle Korver, and Emmanuel Mudiay. And like I said, though, two guys I'm very interested in tonight are Kyle Quinn and Luke Cornett if Enes Kanter and Lance Thomas are out. So definitely monitor that. I'll be updating on Twitter if anything changes to these players or the lineup. I'll be tweeting out the lineup. So follow me on Twitter at MoneyWebby for all that good stuff. And definitely drop a like in the video before you head out. I greatly appreciate it. Let's try to see if we can approach 200 plus likes. Thank you so much, and subscribe and turn notifications on to get alerted every time I upload these videos. Like I said, around like 100 subscribers to go until I host that tournament for you guys. So it should be a good night here. 11 game slate. Those 4 game slates kind of have been screwing me over the last couple nights with those blowouts every single night, and some guys is really disappointing here. So on this 11 game slate, there's a ton of options, and I love all these guys in these spots. Great matchups and all that good stuff. So good luck tonight, guys, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.